everybody. Cheers. I've got my Ouija mug here. Some delicious coffee. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Creative Visions TV. I'm your host, Karen Dahlman, and this is my co-host, Jean Orlando, the Wizard of Ouija. And in this episode, you guys, we're going to talk about the experiences of using the Ouija board, but we got to break down the anatomy of the Ouija board first to start. Hey, Jean, I just said Ouija instead of Ouija board. Did you hear that?
I did. It's okay. You can use either.
It's okay, you guys. You can use it. It's funny I said that because I typically say Ouija, but I said Ouija. There you go, you guys. All right, so let's start talking about the symbols on the board. And let's start with the original Ouija board. Now, you guys, this board he's going to show us is one of the first Ouija boards made.
It's this beast here.
It's
It has
lovely.
Ouija up in the top, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very simple board. It's got goodbye, yes and no, stars in the corner, the moon in one corner, and, oh, that's the moon in the other corner, people.
You guys, it's not a sun.
It's not a sun. In the original patent, it was described as the full moon. Crescent moon and star in one corner, full moon in the other.
Isn't that interesting, you
Didn't
guys?
become a sun until much later.
That's right. We're going to show you how that kind of progressed as we talk about the board. Now, just remember what he just showed you on that board, what some of the symbols look like, because you're going to see how all those symbols on the different corners change. Okay, so notice, Jane, here we go. Here's a board that came out a little later. Look at that.
Right.
Still have the crescent moon with the star, but over here now, a face emerges. And down here, it's circled now. The star is now circled. So tell us what happened here, Gene.
Well, they just changed the design, and people started calling it the sun. And the reason they did that was because it made sense. On the one side, you have the moon. What's on the other side? Well, that must be the sun. But it was never made clear, actually, that would be the sun. So theoretically, it's still the full moon. As you can see, it's got the face on it, the face of the full moon.
Doesn't have the little things around it yet, the rays that make it look like a sun, but that didn't change till a little bit later. And notice too, the symbol kind of changed a little bit, you guys. Even the way the letters are written and the goodbye. I mean, you can see some of the differences, you guys. This is what got me into collecting boards, because you started noticing. I went first. I got you guys originally. I go, I just need my 1973 board, which is sitting back here. Well, circa 1972. I got it in 73. I thought all boards are the same, and then I started seeing how they were different. And that is what drew me into it. And I know, Jean, you enjoy the different subtle nuances of the changes too, don't you?
Right. I mean, that board in the back you have, I mean, it's exactly the same as, let's see.
Oh, he's going to show us a real cool one. Watch this one, you guys.
Exactly the same as this one. And this one is the 1940s board.
Look at that. It's a lot bigger now. Jean, look at that now. It changed from the moon.
Quite a bit bigger. This is obviously the sun now. Mm-hmm. As you can see, it has rays coming out of it. So when this design came in, they made it very obvious that it was the sun.
And notice too, you guys, bottom, this is where the corners. Now we got that, he showed us that image before, and now it's not, there's no more circle down there and a star. It's now this woman with this ethereal head floating around. And
yeah, you may remember from an earlier video, the Electric Mystifying Oracle was the first to show this particular design, which became the standard for many, many years for the Ouija board.
Isn't that cool, you guys? So around the 40s, it looks like this guy became the sun. So, we just wanted to show you that because we wanted you guys to see that there are these differences in the board. And I think, Jean, what I hear is these different symbols in the corner of the board, or whether it has goodbye or not, or how the designs are. People say, what does that mean? So, Jean, what do these symbols mean? Is there a meaning behind them?
The original makers of the board were all Masons. So we think that the symbols are reflecting some Masonic symbolism, because if you look at their aprons, if you look at other Masonic symbols, you'll see oftentimes the crescent moon with the star and the full moon or the sun, whichever you want to pick. So, but again, this is just speculation on our part, and you can be very wrong with speculation.
It's true.
So, I mean, what we do is when we look at these symbols, they mean whatever they mean to you. What a symbol means to you, that's what the symbol is. Okay, so if you look at the people down in the corner and they speak to you, then that's what they mean. There are, as I've shown earlier, these boards have different themes for different periods, for different years, and we see it now. What do the symbols mean? Well, let me ask you something. What do the symbols mean on Elvira's board?
Love that board.
Right. So that's a nice board.
Hold that board back up, Gene. I want to see that board again. Put that back up there. Check this out, you guys. All right, so what do we have there? Look, is there a goodbye on there?
No goodbye. Oh no, it's unpleasant dreams, which was what she would say at the end of her show.
That's right.
Unpleasant dreams.
And that was her way of saying goodbye. Now, Gene, there's no goodbye on that board. Do we have to have goodbye on the board?
We don't. We don't. I mean, people often think that goodbye is where you have to move your planchette to close the board, but you don't have to do that at all. Goodbye is just simply means when the planchette moves there that the session is over, that whatever either you or the spirit or whoever it is you're contacting has decided that the session is done. That's what goodbye means. So it goes down to goodbye. Try again later. Stop. Take a break.
You guys, in mine, my planchette never. If you watch me, my planchette lands right here in the open space. It never goes down to goodbye. I don't ever remember using goodbye ever. I don't ever remember it happening. But yet, I still say goodbye. I would just verbally say goodbye, as I mentioned before. So that brings up a question related to the anatomy of the board. If you don't say goodbye, or you don't go to goodbye, or you just take your hands off the board and leave your planchette there, is anything bad going to happen?
No.
You so sure?
Well, I mean, it's going to get dusty, and be hard to clean. I tell you, when you have a lot of boards that get dusty, cleaning can be an issue. It could fall off the table, I suppose. The cat could knock it down, and then, you might have a broken planchette. But no, if you leave the planchette on the board, nothing evil is going to happen to you.
You guys, I often have my boards sitting out. Like I have some behind me, and I'll leave the planchette sitting next to them or on them, or I'll leave my sometimes some of them are flat on my coffee table or dining room table, and I leave the planchette on it all the time. That's just because I got lazy and didn't put it away. But I'm with Gene. Some of these boards that I like to use a lot, you'll see me use my 1950s Parker Brothers board a lot. William Fold board, and then I will use my 73 board a lot too. But I will put those away typically because I don't want dust on them, and I don't want that little brass tab knocked out of them because I don't want to lose that. That's the Ouija eye. So yeah, I'll put them away, those, but other ones I leave out. I have them hanging up and all that stuff. Nothing bad's going to happen. I mean, Gene has a lot of boards in his house, and he has a lot of boards on display in his office. I have them all over my house. And Gene, has anything bad ever happened to you with your boards out like that?
No.
No?
I keep hoping, something interesting will happen, but like my friend Rick Schreck says, nothing's ever happened. He keeps waiting.
Rick goes, I want to be haunted. Bring it on. He has his boards everywhere. He has hundreds of boards in his house. But Gene has a lot of boards too, and we haven't had that issue. So I'll tell you why again, you guys. It's really because we come from a practical viewpoint on this tool. It's just a tool. This was just made out of wood. I have my little paper sack board made out of paper. You've seen a lot of Gene's boards. We had the one that he made that's made out of metal. You guys, it's just a tool. Don't get caught up in the tool so much. It's really yourself that allows this to happen. That's really critical. So when people start writing in or asking questions about experiences with the board that seem not so positive, we got to look at what else was going on in their lives. What else was going on during the session? I mean, if you've got a lot of fear-based things going on in your life, or maybe you're depressed or down, or you just want to be, scared, you'll draw that. You'll kind of help craft that and create that in your session. So just really look at that first. It's not the board. You don't need to blame the board. You don't need to burn the board. You don't need to destroy the board. In fact, right, Gene? If people want to get rid of the boards, they can send them to the Talking Board Historical Society.
Sure, absolutely. Don't blame the board for what happens. There's a lot of reasons why people have unpleasant occurrences or experiences with Ouija boards, and usually they're based on past conditioning more than anything else, not anything that's actually occurring at the time with the board. So don't worry about it. If you have a board, you don't have to, and you need to get rid of it, give it away. Give it to the Talking Board Historical Society or a friend or I mean, if you don't want to mail it, if, $10 is too much to spend to mail a board, you can always just give it away, give it to the Goodwill or something like that. Nothing horrible is going to happen. If you give away a board, nothing's going to come back to haunt you. It's just, you're simply giving away a tool.
That's it, you guys. Giving away a tool. You are the one that draws everything to you. You're the co-creator in your life and in your world. And so you're crafting what's happening on the board, whether it's your vibration or energies or your beliefs. So just, kind of think about that. All right. So Jean, on a board, people have talked about their planchette will do this. It'll count backwards. It'll go 0, 9, 8, 7, 6, all the way down like this. What does that mean? Does that mean anything?
It means that the planchette is moving down through the numbers.
Simply that, you guys. It's just probably trying to figure out where the numbers are located. Because I have boards where my numbers and my letters are in a circle, and sometimes it has to go around and find where everything's located. So it's just doing what it wants to do in terms of the energy coming through. It's just coming through in that way. All right. What about if it makes figure eights, Jean? Have you seen anything weird with that?
Yeah, there's all kinds of superstitions, Ouija-stitions we talk about, and the figure eight is one of them. It may come from, aces and eights and, superstitions from, classic superstitions that people have. But no, I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It just means that it's moving in a figure eight.
Exactly.
In fact, I often put my planchette in a figure eight to warm the board up or to warm myself up. So it has no meaning. There's nothing serious going on there. Nothing's going to get you.
Right. And I find too, Jean, when I talk to the different characters I talk to through the planchette, through the board, again, it's not the board doing it. It's me. I take the board away. I can still have these connections, these energies. But when they come through, I call them spirit signatures because I can actually feel the movement of the planchette change, the direction might change, the speed might change, and the abruptness or smoothness of it changes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so, this, because it's like we all have our own vibration about ourselves. And you're around a friend of yours, their energy, and you're around this friend, that friend's energy is different. It's that kind of thing, you guys. So just rejoice in the fact that your planchette's moving and it's making all these different types of movements on there. I used to get figure eights years ago. I hardly get that anymore. I used to get spiraling around the board. In fact, as you guys know that watch me, some of my characters would come through, for example, who I would call the sun and moon, who now are just called the guides. They were enter the board. They would enter, well, this is the moon, so let me grab this board back here. They would enter, in fact, it was on this board, you guys, enter here at the sun with the planchette, go here, and I go, oh, I'm talking to this being that I called the sun. Then come up here, it was the moon. But you guys, they don't have names. My beings I talk to don't have names, so I call them the guides now. But that's an example. So people say, if the planchette moves the moon, oh my God, what does that mean? I'm saying, well, what does that mean to you? Again, let's get back to what do these symbols mean to you? If it's Masonic, then that's what it means to you. If it relates somehow to your religion or your philosophy or theosophy, that's what it means to you. For me, I'm really into alchemy, you guys. So I think of the feminine energy more as the moon, la bella luna. And then I think of the sun, the soul, more as a masculine energy, more direct. So that's what it means to me. But you got to ask yourself, what does that mean to you, okay? That's the key thing. And if the moon means something ominous, then that's what it means to you. To me, again, it's more of the feminine energy. It's very poetic. And you guys know when you watch the show, when that energy comes through, she's very verbose and poetic. It's beautiful. So how about you, Jane? Do you have any meanings that the moon and sun mean to you?
No, I mean, I've often just thought of them as the moon is no and the sun is yes. So that's the corner of the board that it goes to when you're answering those two very simple questions, yes or no.
Yeah, right. Night and day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, theme boards are so common that the symbols can mean almost anything. I mean, if here's a board here, this is the Ouijatorium board by Alan Tigwell. Look at that. What do the symbols mean to you? I mean, when I looked at this board, I thought to myself, well, it says Ouijatorium up there, and I don't know what a Ouijatorium is, but maybe whatever Ouijatorium is, it's in this really cool red tent.
Ooh.
Might be there with the clowns and the tigers and things like that. So what does the board say to you? What does it mean to you? What do the symbols mean to you? That's the important thing. You don't look at the symbols as being, something. It might mean something horrible, or it might mean something scary. That something bad's going to happen. No.
No, not at all. And I have a Ouijatorium board. Shout out to Alan Tigwell. Awesome board, you guys. Really fun to use. I like it because it's light. It's funny, and also I like the fact that it uses new symbols, like Jean mentioned. The new symbols, the tiger and the clown. I mean, it's kind of weird, kind of cool, and kind of weird at the same time. Because who likes clowns? I don't, but some people do, and that reminds you of the circus. So that one always brings a smile to my face when I use it. So you guys have fun with your boards. I mean, don't get caught up in the anatomy of the board. That you got to pick it apart, and this means something. And it could. I'm not saying it can't, but I'm just saying don't let that scare you into not using your board because you have these symbols. Now, I know people, Jean, some people don't like the traditional look of the Ouija board, so they have like angel boards or spirit boards that have more of the ethereal beings on them, and that's cool too, right?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Whatever's right for you, that's the one you want to pick. Whatever's good.
And
if
you guys
angels float your boat, and that's what you want to have angels in them, right?
Who doesn't want an angel on their shoulder, you guys? So yeah, you pick the board that it could be the theme board that you like that resonates with you. Don't worry if the word goodbye isn't on there, like the Elvira board. It could have something else written on there. The old ones used to say, what the old ones said, good night or good day, good eve or something. They had different sayings on it. It wasn't always goodbye. You don't need that. You don't need yes and no on your boards. By the way, on any board, they can just spell out YESNO. You don't even need numbers, you guys, because they could spell out 1 ONE, 3 THREE, right? So think about it that way. Don't get freaked out if you don't have all the symbols, or if you have different symbols. It's all good,
Sure. Absolutely.
And if you make your own board, you could put your own cool symbols on that you resonate with. I've seen some really neat boards. I'm sure you have too, Jean.
I have, yes, definitely.
Do you have any other really cool board to show us there that has some different symbols on it?
Let's see.
Yes, by the way, while he's looking for that, I collect a lot of just Ouija boards. That's where it started. And then after that, you guys, I started getting into different kinds of talking boards because I realized so many other companies made these boards.
Right. I mean, there's literally thousands of different types of boards. Every one is a little different. Every company comes out with a little bit different. And the companies themselves, they make different boards. So, I mean, as we can see, as we've seen with William Fuld, I mean, there have been numerous boards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the design is as different as the period. It might, in some period, that's interesting too, because some themes are common. We saw a lot of zodiac and stuff during the 60s because the age of Aquarius. Earlier on, and we saw the magic of the Far East with camels and mystics and the pyramids. So it's whatever symbol means is attractive to you is the board you want to use.
That's right. So you guys, seriously, get creative, create your own, and if you do, send me a picture of it. I'd love to see what they look like. You guys, thank you so much for joining us again. It's so much fun to share with you our thoughts on the board. Again, these right now are just our opinions. We do share some of the historical facts, like, for example, how the moon became a sun. But then other things is just all opinion. So, take it with a grain of salt, take what you like, throw out the rest. But make your own boards, you guys. Make it fun. Right, Jean?
Absolutely.
So thank you again for joining us. In our next episode, we're going to talk more about the spooky, evil side to the Ouija board, you guys. That's going to be fun, Jean.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, you guys. We'll see you again later. Bye-bye.